Mr. Efoe. Um,
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, my name is Masini Bamba. I'm gonna be your counselor for today.
Okay,
I know you contacted my office not too long ago, and I sent you some assessment, some form to fill out, and
okay,
I did go over the form. So we'll try to discuss some of your answers.
okay.
But before I go into any detail of why we're here today, how are you? How do you feel? How are you?
Doing okay, all things considered. Doing
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you could make it today. And thank you again for joining me today. Again, I know I sent you the informed consent, which you signed. But it's
Mhm.
also my responsibility to go over some of the confidentiality agreements.
Okay,
Um, and I usually like to just inform my client that I want you to understand that the information you share during our session will be kept private and confidential.
okay,
I won't share your information without your written permission unless disclosure is legally or ethically required. Um, Let's say, for example, if I feel like you're a danger to yourself or somebody else, it is my duty to um, inform the um, whoever is responsible to be known for that matter. So I do have to report in some cases, some specific cases, but again, I'll let you know about that.
okay,
Um, yeah, like I say, some of the reason exception is suspected abuse or neglect of a child and a court order, or if I'm consulting with my supervisor, which I'm working under a supervisor, so I do have to inform that person. Um, but again, agreeing to participate in counseling, you acknowledge that you understand the purpose and limit of confidentiality. And again, you have the right to ask questions at any time. And throughout the session, if you have any concern or if you don't feel like you don't want to answer something, you're not comfortable, please feel free to communicate, to let me know. This is again a safe space for you. I want you to know that I'm here to support you. There's no judgment. Um, the goal is for you to get better and to go back to your normal self. Um, so I had to go over that, but thank you. So let's just start
okay.
our session today. Let me. So I know I already asked you how you're feeling, but I'm gonna just ask you a broader question. What has life been like for you over the past few months?
Tough. It's been very hard to say the least. Um, like I told you, it's been over a year now for me not working. Uh, Lost my job, and that has taken over me. It's taken a toll on me. It's taken a toll over my family, and my kid also is starting to feel it. And I'm at the point where I am completely discouraged. Um, or can I even express it? For someone who's used to be very social, I could see how it's impacting my social life. And and my worries at this point is that it's going to impact my personal life, my life with my family, and my wife and kids very negatively. I know I'm starting to feel that it's impacting everyone, but I'm worried that it's going to get even worse as as it continues. So all in all, it hasn't been great. Um, it's it's been rough, to say the least.
Well, I'm definitely sorry to hear that. I know it can be challenging losing a job, especially when it gives you, we all know our job give us stability, financial stability. So I can't even imagine losing your job for that long period of time. So I can see how that can affect your family, your overall well-being, and I do understand that. And like I said, when I was looking through your assessment, this was something that I actually saw. And I know you also mentioned that you kind of feel like you've been going through some maybe period of depression or anxiety. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Um, it's been a it's there have been a few cases where I don't even feel like getting out of bed because I'm at the point where nothing is working. I've been knocking at so many doors, no luck so far. I've been applying for 1,000 jobs, no luck so far. I've been rewriting resumes almost constantly every single days just to be turned down one more time. Um, so I got to the point where getting out of bed in the morning is becoming more and more difficult, and stepping outside of the house, um, I don't even want to step outside of the house because if you step out, it's like, what are you stepping out for? If you get out of bed, what are you getting out of bed for? So those kind of thought process is all over, all over me, all over my movement. I used to be very active, going to the gym and all of that, but I can't even get up because I have, what am I getting up for? Um, so yeah,
Okay. Definitely. And that makes a lot of sense because if you don't have your normal routine that I'm sure you were used to, and now there's nothing, I can see how that can be discouraging, especially when you've been sending all these resume and you're not getting any positive feedback. So I just want to know because you did mention depression. So and you've given me some of the example, but I just want to hear from your own mouth. What made you identify depression as your main concern?
well, it's
Because I know you even recently, I mean, right now you just spoke about the fact that you don't feel like getting out of bed and no, you don't have the will to do anything like you used to. Is that some of the reason that have made you come out with that conclusion that maybe you're going through a period of depression?
yeah. I mean, if you if you are in a position where I've been from from owning a home to having a family, and the only job that supported that is no longer there, it's almost like everything is falling over your head at this point. Um, and I've gone through my saving already, so I'm not even sure how to make next month mortgage payment. Um, I don't know. There's no one to ask for, um, and I wish I could go knock at somebody else's door to at least uh, get a little bit of cash to cover my mortgage payment, which I'm afraid all of that is going to come to a point where um, I have to either sell the house and move, which is could be a last resort. But again, even the thought of doing that, leaving everything behind, um, my kid is, my son is really now immersed into his school and has all his friends now. Um, Seeing all of that and coming in because I can't provide anymore, having to destroy all of that just one morning, it kind of drives me nuts. Um, and I'm trying to show a good face every single day. But when I look at him walking out the door going to school, it just it just take a toll on me. But all in all, and the fact that I am so discouraged, I have no hope at this point, make me feel like maybe I'm going through a stage of depression. Maybe that's how I came up with it. Um, but again,
Okay.
it's it's tough to kind of explain.
Okay. So if I understand you correctly, yeah, so some of the symptoms that have made you come to that conclusion is just the lack of hope. You feel like there's no solution in the in your
Yeah,
near future, or and also I know you also mentioned that there was no help, that you don't have any other financial help.
yep.
So I do know that you have a wife. Does your wife work? Is she able to help financially? What's
She
that?
is not working,
Okay.
unfortunately. Um, but she's also looking to pick up some shift left and right, which hopefully will bring in a little bit if she gets one. Um, but currently she's not. And that's why we've gone through all of my savings already. I've already cashing out all of my 401k, everything that I had. Um, this month will be the last month when I'm able to even pay for the mortgage. Um, so we're not sure what we're going to do for next month. So that financial pressure is is making my life upside down right now, and I'm sure it's taking a toll on her too. But again,
Yeah,
it's,
definitely.
it's difficult.
Yeah, I can see why you came to that conclusion of feeling depressed, and it's absolutely normal to feel that way. I mean, this is a very hard situation for anybody, let alone somebody who's the head of his household. Um, so I know you say you cannot go to anybody for support. Do you have any family, close family nearby? I know in your assessment, your intake form, you did mention that you have siblings. I know they don't live with you, but or do they live close to you? Do you have that kind of
No, the,
support?
the, the closest one is 5 hour flight from here. Um, that's my brother. But again, he also is going through some rough patches. Um, I think he just got a job recently and also has a wife and few kids, 2 or 3 kids now. Um, so he might not be the best person to go ask for anything right now, given that it wasn't the best of the relationship we ever had. So yeah.
I understand that. Um, so when did you first notice that you were not feeling like yourself, that you were just not feeling well? Like,
Well, I started noticing it when I had no appetite. It started with the appetite first. I woke up and I didn't feel like eating anymore. Um, that was one of those days. I usually get coffee in the morning and food, but I didn't feel like anything. Um, and at the same time, all I could feel all I could think of was just going right back to bed after I get up. So I spent the whole day sleeping that day. Um, then the next day, I wasn't hungry at all. For someone who hadn't eaten the previous day, and I wasn't hungry at all the next day. Um, and on top of that, I had no interest in actually even getting out of bed. Um, so it went like that for almost about 3 days. Then the pattern was the same. I wasn't feeling about getting up. I had no appetite. All of that was running through my head. I mean, what am I getting up for? Um, Getting up in the morning because you're going to work and provide for your family. But again, what am I getting up for? So that's how I started to after 2 days, 3 days. The third one is when I started realizing like there gotta be something going on here.
Okay. And do
But
you have an idea how long ago was that? Was that like a month ago, 2 months ago? And when did you start realizing all
that
that?
was a month ago.
Okay.
That was a month ago.
Okay. And is that when you decided that maybe it was time for you to seek professional help?
Exactly. So I spoke with it to my wife, and then she actually suggested I talk to someone. Um, but again, talking to someone also requires that you're able to afford paying for help. Um, so, but she was the one who suggested it. Initially, I thought I could just, it was a moment, it was going to go away, but um, I kind of faked it a couple of days, and I went through back again through the same pattern um, a week later. Then, then she insisted, and that's how we got professional help, and that's how we called you.
Okay. Okay. And I'm glad you did because it's definitely hard to do it on your own. Um, but I know you spoke about some of the symptom or things that you notice when you started feeling depressed, like not getting out of bed and having even right now lost appetite. Um, my question is there a particular event or something that happened that kind of trigger those emotion, like where you feel like you just nothing is working out? Is that something in particular, or is just a bunch of different things?
It's a bunch of different things at once, but one particular event was basically one of those days as my son came back from school and he mentioned that he wanted to do something. Um, I believe he said he wanted there is a shoes, a Nike shoes that he want me to buy for him. And I stared at him and you could see me bursting on the little guy and he didn't even know what was going on. I felt bad for myself the same day afterwards because um, anytime he come to me for something, I would just grab him and go try to get those things for him, and not being able to pay those shoes for him um, was one thing that just got to me really hard. But the reaction when he asked for it that came out of me, I have no idea where it came from. Um, I think the combination of the financial issues, um, me almost losing my mind, for not being able to help in any way, shape, or form, or to give my son what he wants, was just definitely too much to bear.
Okay. I definitely understand that. Um, and again, all these emotions are normal, right? Because you're under a lot of pressure and under a lot of stress. So unfortunately, sometimes the people that are closest to us, um, are the one who kind of get the short end of it because you don't know how else to kind of express that emotion. So I hope you do know that it's not okay, but it's understandable how um, you could kind of get triggered and just get angry at your son, even though you were not angry at him, but just being angry at the fact that as a dad you couldn't provide for him or offer him that shows that he wanted. Um, and everything kind of boil up or pile up as you kind of suppress those emotions. But my next question is that how does I'm sure you kind of answered that question, but I also want you to think about it and just answer it if you can. How does losing your job has affected you emotionally?
I mean, there's no more. I mean, no more self worth, right? I mean, you lose your job, it's almost like you lost everything. Uh, it's unfortunate to say that, but that's the only thing that was keeping keeping us afloat here. Um, the house, everything, everything is tied to was tied to that one single job. So it looks like I don't feel like I'm a human being at this point. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
it's
okay. Well, it's definitely understandable. Um, how often do you think that you feel depressed?
almost every day.
Yes.
Almost every day. I mean,
But are there times when you feel maybe a little bit better than others, or where you feel better or worse? Do you have those time when maybe you feel like there's hope? Um, or there are time when you
I
feel like nothing's gonna work out.
I used to have that hope when when I first lost the job. Um, but again, after a year into looking, then I lost all hope. Um, I lost all hope. I felt
Okay.
like maybe the place where I am is where there is job scarcity, but I mean, applying out of state, but nothing. So it feels like there's no more hope at this point because I was even willing to move. But again, if you're applying and not getting any call, or you're being ghosted by recruiters, I mean, all hope kind of fall apart at that point.
I understand. Um, and what kind of things, what kind of thoughts go through your mind when you're feeling depressed?
Well, 9 out of 10 times, I just stay in bed and cry my heart out. Um, Sometimes I just wanna break all these walls. Why is this happening to me? Um, I blame everybody else, uh, even my friends that we used to hang out or that used to call me. Nobody's even calling me anymore. So I feel like I'm alone in this mess, or in this world at this point.
Yeah, and I think that was actually my next question that has I was gonna ask you if you've lost interest in things that you normally enjoy,
All
but
right.
I think you kind of have.
Your sense of self-worth is gone.
Yeah.
Um, and when that's the case, what else you got? Like you feel ashamed when you step out or even see your friends. Um, and you can even feel it. Some of them will be just like pointing you. Um, you can feel it. It's not. It's it just it's just hard.
Yeah. And I know that when I was looking at your file, you did mention that you used to play soccer almost every week, on the weekend with your friends, and um so what happened? What has changed that um
I haven't played with them. I haven't stepped out on the field for almost 6 months now. Um,
mm,
Again, I mean, because I have to even drive there. Um, so I have to think um, how long I can keep driving without having to pay for gas. Um, Again,
mm,
when you are on a tight budget, you have to reduce almost all of your driving around. Um, but I haven't been on the field for so long. I can't even get out. I mean, I don't even have the courage to get up and get out. And
okay.
what am I getting out for? I mean, what's the point of going out on the field? One of playing was a joy uh, that keeps you in good health and all of that. But what's the point of all of that at this point? I mean,
So yeah, so I understand that. So in addition to what you're saying, not only the feeling of not being in control of your life right now, and that feeling of being depressed and not wanting to do anything, um and you also have your financial responsibility when you're driving to excuse me, to meet your friend, because like you say, you have to pay for gas, and you feel like right now your money is so short, you can't even afford to drive anywhere you want. So like that must really be a hard feeling to feel. And and I know that's definitely gonna affect your social life. So can you tell me a little bit how overall that has affected your social life has changed? You do anything with your wife or your children? I mean, oh, I'm sorry, your child.
well, we used to go out once a week, and fortunately, we have to cut that down. Um, After I lost the job, we cut it down to once a month. Um, we would go to the movie or go dinner. But again, now we have to cut all of that down. Um, and we used to eat really healthy.
Mm.
Uh, Now we don't even know what we're eating nowadays. Um, so it's changing everything, like from the food that we eat, the joy that we have in traveling or going out once a week. All of that have changed. Um,
Yeah.
and on top of that, and when you get sick, you can't even go to the hospital because we have no insurance at this point. Um, it's
This
it's
is
a whole lot.
Yeah, like I said, this is very challenging for you. I can only imagine how you have to not only think about yourself, but you have a family to take care of. It's one thing when you're living by yourself, but now you have this responsibility and you feel like you're losing hope and you don't have control over your own life. So I can see how that will definitely affect not only your social life, but your even your well-being overall. Um, and I know that you talk about how it even affected your diet. You say you used to when even when you wake up these days, you don't feel like eating. Um, has it also affected your sleep? Are you able to
I can't sleep.
sleep
I can't
like you
sleep.
used to? Or
I can't sleep.
you
I
can?
mean, how do you sleep when you have insurance, your car insurance coming up due with no cash? How do you sleep when you have your mortgage coming up yet you got no cash or, or anything to cover any of those? You can't sleep. Um, I barely sleep at night, and then during the day, I just don't feel like getting up. I lay I lay in bed like all day, but I barely sleep.
Yeah.
Can't sleep.
So I know also in your assessment you did reported that you've gained some weight. When did you begin noticing that?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about it until because we've been eating is garbage, but that's all we got, and I can tell because my feet and my legs feel really heavy. Uh, that's when I notice it that I've gained a lot of weight. And then I went on the scale because we have a scale in our bathroom. Um, you could tell on the scale I went from being 115 to now I'm almost like 200 so far. Um, it's and I only started noticing it through my legs.
We'll see. So that affecting your energy level? Do you
Energy
think?
level is always low. I mean,
Mm.
uh, energy level has been low since God knows when at this point. Um, Nothing tastes as they used to taste. Even the coffee that I used to drink doesn't taste any better. Um,
Is and what about your focusing, concentration, or decision making? Do you think it has also affected those areas?
I don't feel well. I don't feel sharp in decision making. I just make decisions at this point based on there's no rationale at this point. Everything is emotional. Um, when you are not in control, everything becomes emotional. So for me, everything is emotional at this point, which is sad for me to say, but um, for someone who's always been rational, to switch from that to becoming more emotional, it's just a big step down um, at this point.
I understand that. Is there anything that helps you temporarily feel better, even if it's, of course, just a short period of time? Is there anything that actually makes you feel better in this um, time?
I don't know, honestly. Um, I don't even feel like um, I feel ashamed when I look at my kid at this point. Um,
Mm.
so feeling better, I don't know. So far, I haven't seen anything that makes me feel better these days.
Okay.
Um, I know when he comes back from school, he's excited to see me, but um,
Yeah.
I feel so sad when I realize that I can't do anything for this guy at this point. And he didn't call for any of that. He didn't choose any of those. Um, I
Mm,
don't know. Nothing really makes me feel good or better now.
okay. I know that we've been talking a lot about your feeling of being depressed and not feeling like doing anything. And I know one of the main reasons for why you're feeling this way is because of your financial situation. So I just want to ask you a few questions as it relates to your employment and your financial stress. Uh, can you tell me a little bit what happened when you were laid off? And like, how did you initially react um, when you first heard that you lost your job? What was your first reaction?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't stressed at all. And, but that was because I had no idea how bad the economy was. Um, and I've switched jobs so many times in my career. It was always took barely a month for me to go from one job to the next one. Uh, this is the first time it's taken me much longer than I've ever seen before. But originally, I wasn't stressed about getting a job because in my mind, it would have been like previous years where after a month or 2 weeks, you will get another one and life goes on. This has been by far the longest and the most annoying.
Yeah. And and I know because of that you mentioned that you always worry about your finances and so how do you often find yourself worrying about money in general?
I never had to. Um,
But how often do you find yourself worrying about that, like thinking about um money in general? Does it,
Nowadays,
yeah, does it happen more
uh,
often now?
like every day, I mean, I have to think about the $5 coffee that I used to buy. I have to think twice before I even pay for that. So I don't go out. I don't eat anything outside. Um, yeah, I mean, I think about constantly. I mean, if nothing is coming in, you basically have to be on a tight budget. So you have to kind of control everything that goes out. So yeah, I think about it constantly.
Yeah. And I know you also mentioned that you've applied for several jobs and even jobs that are outside of your state. Are you currently looking or have you just given up on that?
Now, if I show you how many jobs I've applied for, it's countless. Um, so at this point, I've given up because I've gone from to applying to interviewing to being ghosted to the point where I'm like, I could start even applying for one job and in the middle I'll just stop because of the fact that all you're gonna hear later is, um, unfortunately, they've gone with somebody else. and those automated responses. So, so I stopped applying.
Well, do you have, if any, confidence in finding another job?
The way this is looking, I have no confidence in this market unless there is something dramatic that changes in the state of our economy.
Mm, I understand. Thank you for answering this question. The next thing I would like to focus on is I know you've mentioned about your wife and your kid. Um, and you've also mentioned that your wife is not working as well. So, has your wife, and you even mentioned that she was the reason, she was the person who asked you to seek counseling. Do you think, how do you think that depression or those symptoms that you're feeling right now has affected your relationship with your wife? I know you did mention, but I also want you to think really deeply about that. As how has it affected, or do you think it, beside of course the everyday financial stress and not being able to provide, has it gone beyond that? Let's say about your intimacy or your closeness with your wife, and just has anything, if of course, change?
Well, a lot has changed. I mean, we used to be, we used to go out a lot. We used to travel here and there, but we're not doing any of that anymore. Um, you could see the distance also. Um, we feels like we kind of feel disconnected. Um, yeah.
So how do you usually communicate with her when you're feeling stressed?
Well, just I try not to. I try not to project that stress on her. Um, but again, it's not
But
always the case. So
how does it look like when you're stressed? Do you mostly keep to yourself instead of talking to her, or do you kind of lay everything on her? Like how do
I
you usually
just
communicate?
I just keep it to myself
Okay.
because if I might say something that I don't mean to say, and to avoid that, I just keep it to myself.
Mhm. So you did say that you have a brother who lives a few hours away from you, but in your community, do you have people in your community that I know you're saying that you cannot go to anybody for financial support, but is there anybody in your community that you can rely on for moral support, for just even sharing your thoughts, or even asking for job opportunities and things like that? Do you have that um kind of community where you can rely on?
Well, it's a brand new community, so we haven't really not a lot of people here. Um, so to answer your question, not yet. I mean, no, because we recently moved to this community, so we don't have a lot of people that we know.
I understand. Um, so do you, I know in your form also you mentioned about your father who passed away not I think a year ago. Um, has that been also maybe a trigger or a factor to your overall um health and your mood in general?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my dad and I used to be pretty close, um, but again, him not being around, so things are. There are a lot of things that I used to share with him, but I cannot share that with anyone at this point because he's no longer there. So it feels like um, everything is coming down at the same time for me. Um, I know if he was here, it would have been different, um, but not having him make it even more complicated.
Mm. Well, as I take it, you were really close to your dad.
Yeah,
Well, I'm really sorry about your loss. I can imagine the loss of a parent, especially somebody that you're so close. You used to be so close with. Um, that definitely can be another trigger for what you're feeling right now. So, I just can you just give me an idea how you describe your background, your cultural background? Are you from a family who is very strict? Um, just give me different an idea. Did you grow up in a lovely family with your siblings, or how was it growing up for you?
I mean it was fine, like typical African families. We have a large family, but we got along really well. We all went to school. I mean, we were pretty normal. I mean, I would say we were actually better off than the average uh, family at the time, even though were a lot of us, but we didn't have anything crazy going on in our family at all.
Mhm. So, are there any cultural values that are important to you?
Well, for us, family is everything. Um, so that's one of the values you hold near and dear. Um, family is everything, and not family is everything. So
Is that do you guys were you did you grow up in a religious family?
nah,
Okay.
nah, religion was not at our dinner table. We do things the way we want, um, but we don't follow any religion practice. We just try to be good to people. That's it. But we don't practice any.
Mhm. And I know that you say that you're pretty came from a pretty normal family. But do you have experience with anybody in your family who ever seek counseling or going through depression or mood changes or anxiety? Have you experienced any of that growing up?
Not really. Um, yeah, we lived a pretty normal life. Um, Maybe I don't know if any of my family members gone through stuff like this. Um, but again, back home, people are so supportive of one another that that is rare that you only hear that anybody is depressed. Because if if you lose um, your way of life, you can always come back home um, to to the family's house to get the help that you need, whether it's food or shelter, whatever it is. Uh, but again, not having that in where we are right now make life a little more like harder than what we've been used to.
I see. So yeah, you did have that kind of support uh, in your country where you're from.
Yeah.
I feel like in the US that kind of shifted or has changed. That
Mhm.
that's kind of different. Yeah. Um, so I know that I noticed in the form that you did mention that your physical health is fine beside, of course, the fact that you just gained um some weight. Are you currently taking any medication?
Well, I try not to because I'm very skeptical of a lot of these medications. Um, so no, I'm not taking any.
Okay. So because I did also notice because I asked you about substance use and you did mention that you don't take any substance and you have you ever thought about taking anything or just it's not something that you haven't really thought about just
No, I haven't thought about uh, that extreme case yet. Um, no, I have not.
okay. That's good to know. And this is actually something I wanted to mention because I know that I noticed that on one of the form you did mention that sometimes you feel like you want to end it all. Um, and I just can you tell me um more about what you were experiencing at that time when you say that, or is this a feeling that you have um every day?
Well, no, not that it's a feeling that comes and go, but not something uh, solid enough to be able to act on, if you know what I'm saying. Um, it's it's not a regular feeling, but it comes from time to time. But again, even when that feeling comes, uh, it just it's almost like as sporadic as it could be. It just comes and go, um, but not something that I thought about acting on.
And well, I just wanted to establish that, but because like I say, I do have to mention if I feel like you're a danger to yourself. But thank you for clarifying that for me. So there is something I actually wanted to discuss with you. I know you say this is your first time you've ever seek any help. Uh, but beside counseling, do you think there are other things you can do to improve your whole mood in general? Even how you interact with your friends, your social life. Have you thought about any coping mechanism that can help you with helping you feel better or just having more positive thinking?
I have not. Um, I have not, to be honest.
Mhm. So do you don't think you have any strength? Can you think of any of your biggest strength that you had during this difficult time?
Um, I don't know.
Mhm.
Again, my family means a lot to me. Um, but
Mhm. I know earlier you also mentioned that you have no hope, but I do have to ask this another way. Is there any part of you that feel like there's that gives you that hope that things can actually improve? Is there any part of you that has that hope?
well, it's there's like a 1% chance somewhere. Um, it's it's very small, but you can, like they said, right? Never say never. But I really feel like I feel like hope there will be. I mean, there's a little bit of chance for it to be true, and I hope it's true. That hope is hope is still there. But for now, uh, I don't know. I don't see a big thing creating, making that hope to be true right now.
So if this counseling were successful, what would be different in your life?
But I just want to get better and be able um, to get out of this state um, where I feel less of a human. Um, get my normal life back. Um, yeah.
Um, so you say your normal life back. What will that feeling looks like for you? Um, what
But
would
I've
your
always
yourself again look like for you?
I've been being a happy person. Just be able. I'm a simple guy. I live a simple life. Just want to be able to get back to that. Um, be where I was. Um, be able to be on the field and play even more. Take care of my family the way I used to. Just as simple as that.
Mm, mm. Um, there's actually one thing I quickly wanted to ask you. So if I ask you if there's one thing you like to change in your life today to make it better, to make everything better, what would that be? If there's just one thing that you like to change to make your life better.
I don't know. Just find a job. I mean,
Mm.
that would be that would make my life better right now.
So you believe that all the issues that you're having are pretty much centered around the your lack of financial or being financially stable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't see anything else.
Okay, well, we're kind of getting closer to the end of the session. Um, I know we've talked about quite a few areas of your life today. Is there anything important about you or what you're experiencing that I haven't asked about?
No.
Okay. So you feel like we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, we did cover quite a bit today, including your family background, your employment history, and your relationship with specifically with your wife and your kid, um, and how you're feeling in general. So, how are you feeling today after talking about everything?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Still, I don't know. Honestly.
Well, thank you again for being so open. I know it's not easy to open up, especially for first time to a stranger, but I appreciate you opening up and talking to me today and to participate in this interview.
Oh,
I appreciate your willingness to share your experiences. Um, as we discussed in the beginning, this information will not be shared with anybody outside my supervisor, and I'll protect your confidential information. And I would like to, before we go, I would like to ask you one more time if there's anything in your mind, or if you have any feeling of harming yourself. Do you feel like harming yourself or doing anything to yourself?
no.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Floyd. Thank you so much for answering all my questions and being willing to open up to me. And I hope we can move forward um, during our next session. Again, thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you. Bye.